Hi, Chami. Welcome to another episode of Meet Me in My Corner. I am Dr. K and I'm your host. Well, guys, today we have another guest, which I'm really excited about. And she is somebody that has always been so warm to me on social media. She's actually one of my mom supporters on Instagram, and I can't wait for her to be on this platform. And the reason why she's here is actually quite an interesting story. But first, I'm going to introduce her and then I'm going to tell you the story. Hi, Aisha. How are you?
Hi, Dr. K. I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I want to tell people about you, all right?
Sure.
Before we actually talk. So, Aisha O'Reilly is a multiple award winning content creator. She's a host of the #1 parenting podcast, The Whole Mama Show, which I've been on.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
She's an event speaker, a wife, and mother of 3 children, which I don't understand how you do it. She's passionate about telling the story of motherhood. Her mission is to help mothers feel less alone by sharing her honest and raw journey.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
It's very nice for us to have this, I don't know if we can say a transference, because I was on your podcast and now you get to be on my podcast.
Yeah.
But it really just also says a lot about you. You're very supportive of women and you're very supportive of having conversations that support other women. I really love that about you.
Thank
By the
you.
way, I do
Thank
want
you.
to say that. Always very warm. We met only for the first time in person at one of my events.
Yeah.
That I hosted was when? Last
It
year?
was last year. I don't know if it was September or so. It was the eczema one.
August, yes.
Yeah.
Learn and play, yes. And
Yeah.
her baby, she was the cutest little girl. And she had so much eczema.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting to just be in that space with you. But yeah, I'm really happy to have you here. I really, really am. So before we go very far, Aisha, I want us to have a little bit of an icebreaker, okay? We're going to play a this and that.
Okay.
And I just want you to tell me what's your preference and why.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know that we're on a journey to the aisle, right?
Yes.
So everything is going to be wedding related
Love
and all
it.
of that, right?
Love it.
And this is because you and I had a conversation about your wedding day,
Yes.
which we're going to get into. Okay. So planner or self-planning?
Planner. If you can afford it, planner.
Did you have a planner?
I did not, and that's why I say planner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you feel like you missed out on by not having a planner?
I missed out on enjoying the process.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just it's so stressful. I think it's going to be stressful anyway, whether you have a planner or not. It's your wedding day. But I think to be able to sort of delegate and offload some of those stresses to somebody else and someone who's experienced in it, you know, I mean, before I planned my wedding, I had never planned a wedding. You know?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's your last wedding.
Exactly.
Unless you're doing renewals of vows. Yeah, I get you. So actually today I was with a photographer that we're looking to possibly book.
Yeah.
And she said immediately, please get a planner.
Yeah.
Planners always look out for the mistakes so that you don't have to go through them.
Exactly.
And I thought that was really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Traditional or white wedding?
Can I choose both?
Yeah. And you can tell us why.
Yeah, I think both. And the reason why is because, we're in Africa. Let's be real. Yeah, the majority of us don't come from that sort of background where a white wedding is enough.
And sufficient,
or means as much. You know, so we need to, if your culture allows for it, obviously, not all Africans are black, but most of us are. And
There's a reason why she's saying that.
it's just top of mind. I'm sorry,
Yeah, but I get you, yeah.
but you know, let's respect our cultures. Let's pay homage to them. Let's honor our parents, our grandparents, and all. You know, like let's do it the right way.
Yeah.
And if you can afford to also have, you know, a white wedding and all of the other, you know, sort of more westernized kind of things, then I think definitely do that. But if you had to choose, because let's be real, weddings are expensive. If you can only do one, I would say the traditional.
So you've chosen. So it's traditional.
Oh, yes. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, cool. Step, no step. So that's the dance that you do when you walk in.
I didn't. I don't mind it when other people do. I think if you want to, do it. If you
For
don't,
you,
don't.
I want to know you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I didn't, no.
But would you do it?
No.
Looking back,
No.
actually, me too. You know, it's been a thing, right? My partner is a dancer. He's a vibey kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And he's so much fun. I'm also very vibey, but I don't like steps. I
Yeah.
like seeing when other people do it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, I just want to go in a different way into the venue. No. No. I know I'm also going to be very strict. I'm going to be very, very strict.
Yeah, for me, it's also, I didn't want to perform on my wedding day. You know?
Did you see the wedding I once posted?
Which one?
On Twitter, not Twitter, on my Instagram.
I don't think so.
There was a wedding.
Yeah.
Right? It was a big wedding, guys. Huge. It was happening in the United States of America. I think the couple are both actors or whatever. And literally at every turn, they were performing.
Yeah.
They were performing.
Yeah.
It was just a performance. Everyone was there for a concert.
Yes.
It became a little cringe. I won't lie to you. I think at some point they were flying in. So like
The couple.
Yes, they were doing
in.
a lot.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot. They had maybe so many outfit changes. Okay, this coming across is very judgmental, but it just felt like it was more like a show.
Yeah.
But it didn't really. For me, it didn't look romantic.
Yeah.
It looked like the Temu, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Sorry to them. Okay, cool. This is the last one.
It just hit me.
I'm so sorry.
Like, what do you? Oh,
I know
okay.
they will never see this. I'm so happy they'll never see this. Okay, this is the last one, right?
Yeah.
So, full on makeout, right? When they say you can now kiss the bride, or a pick.
Can I pick semi? I think
What's a semi makeout?
a semi, like not a peck, but a lingering peck.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Like you stay there for just a few more seconds, but not a full on
Yeah, I've
hands on
seen
the
that.
face. And I did my makeup. I still want to look cute.
Yeah.
And I still want to respect my parents who are in the crowd or wherever,
Yeah.
seated. So like a lingering.
A lingering pick.
Yes.
I like that. So we're going to keep it cute.
Yeah.
Okay, no tongue.
Yeah.
No. Please. There's no time for lamza on that day, okay?
Later on.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah.
I also think it's just like so private. But I'm also one of those people who find it very awkward to see people make out.
Yeah.
I don't like watching it on TV.
Really?
I hate it. It's always been a thing for me.
Oh, wow.
I don't like watching people make out.
I love it.
Why?
I just think
I
it's just
don't
nice.
know.
When
No.
it's done nicely, I like it.
I mean, they can be sexy and everything. I just don't like watching people transfer saliva. I don't like it. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, chummy, relax. Why? I love that lingering pick. So obviously
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like, because are we chummies?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly.
But it should be quite nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a nice icebreaker, right?
Yeah, perfect. It didn't even
Right.
feel like an icebreaker, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I love that. Okay, so let's get to know you.
Yes.
Show me.
Yeah.
Okay. One word that best describes Aisha O'Reilly. And you have to choose one. I know you. Choose one.
One word that best describes me, I would say creative.
Yes. Guys, and she's saying that for a reason, okay? She's flexing on us. Number one. No. I have to say this, okay? Look at her hair. She did it herself. And she did it so beautifully. I hope these cameras are capturing it well. I hope it's not giving Temu, okay? This hair is stunning, all right? So that's number one. Number two, I've seen your house renovation.
Yeah.
And I think you used IKEA, right?
No, actually, we didn't.
Oh, but you looked at
But we
IKEA
looked
for
at IKEA.
inspiration
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
created it yourself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very creative, right? Your podcast is very creative.
Thank you.
Your content is very creative. I love her content, really love her content. Please tell people about your Instagram because they need to follow you. Please.
Okay, so my Instagram, well, all of my platforms really, It's, like you mentioned earlier when you did that really nice introduction of me, that I help moms feel less alone by
Yeah.
sharing my journey in motherhood. So yeah, I mean, let's be real. Motherhood has been glorified. It's been, made to seem like if you are not having this perfect experience of becoming a mom and your life hasn't changed for the better and all of that, you're doing it wrong. You're a bad
Exactly.
mother. And so when I
Or
became a
you're
mom,
ungrateful.
or you're ungrateful, and that word for me, ooh, is a bit of a trigger because I've been called that so many times in my journey.
When you said that things are hard.
When I said any kind of, and before I even went into the depths of how hard it is or why I'm finding it hard, just the fact that I wasn't enjoying breastfeeding, just the fact that never mind breastfeeding, I did not enjoy pregnancy. I can say that comfortably now because I have 3 kids. But when I was pregnant the first time and I said, I'm not feeling this, I'm actually
We
really
actually
not
spoke
liking
about
that.
this.
Yeah.
You're the first person that actually made me feel validated in that. I don't know if you remember, but I said the same thing to you,
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
didn't feel this glorious feeling that, oh my God, like
Yep.
it just feels so special. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying it wasn't special. It didn't feel that
It
way.
didn't feel that way. I felt gross. I
Me
felt
too.
stupid. I felt
felt
clumsy.
angry.
I was angry too.
I was so angry. I didn't like my man. I don't even know how we're going to the aisle now.
Oh,
I didn't like him at all.
and this is something still to this day. It's 2024. A conversation like this, if somebody outside of this room heard us, they would be like, what are they saying? How can you say that? How can you be so ungrateful? Ooh, it bugs me.
Yeah, but I think, it's another issue that we have, right? Is that, and especially in that now that we live in a digital age where we're so exposed to each other, right? Is that people want you to have the same experiences that they have. And when you don't, they want to project on you.
I hear you.
And also another thing is people have their own baggages.
Yeah.
And they have their history and their story,
Yeah.
right? That makes them look at certain things in a certain way. But it's fine. You can have your truth, but I can also have my truth.
Exactly. Yeah.
And my truth does not deny your truth.
Yes.
Does not invalidate your experience. But
Yeah.
I need to share my experience because
Yeah.
we're different people and
Yeah.
we're in a different world, right?
Yeah.
So now this is going to bring me to my next question for you, because I am really proud looking at the kind of woman that you are right now, right?
Wow.
No, I really am, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there and want to support people. It's not easy to be vulnerable.
No, it's not.
It's not easy, right?
not, yeah.
It can be powerful and it can do so much, but it's not easy. And you've stuck out your hand so many times to help people in different ways, and I really like that. And because your journey is a little bit layered, I mean, you are in an interracial relationship.
Yeah.
You're an internationality relationship as well,
Yeah.
if I can put it that way.
Yeah, some people call it intercultural.
Intercultural, that's the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for. Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I want to know, right?
Yeah.
How do you think young Aisha would view you right now?
Oh, that's a great question. And I say that because I've been beating myself up for the past couple of years because I keep thinking to myself, I have let her down. And I'll tell you why. When I was, 13, 15, yada, yada, I had all of these goals, as so many of us do, right? We have all these goals like, yeah, when I'm 25, I'm going to be doing this. And when I'm 30, I'm going to be earning that much. And I'm going to be living in this house and driving this thing. And I did the same thing. But then I realized quite literally this year that I just thought to myself, I was, 16? When I came up with those goals? I was maybe 19 when I came up with others. What did 16-year-old Aisha know at age 16?
Exactly. Yeah.
How did she become the person that I had to answer myself to when she really didn't know what life was?
Oh, interesting.
What life was really going to be about. I'm 38 years old now. And now looking back, I think to myself, did 16-year-old Aisha even anticipate some of the hardships that 38-year-old Aisha would have gone through by now?
No.
Definitely not. So I think now that you've asked me that question, I can definitely say that I think 16-year-old Aisha will be very proud. I think she would be a little bit naively disappointed as well with some things.
Okay.
And I say naively because of that, because she didn't know any better, you know.
She didn't have context.
Yeah, she had no context. She hadn't lived, you know. And now I can tell her it's okay. We've still got this, you know. It's not like it's the end of the life or anything like that, you know. Touch wood, but there's still so many years ahead. There's still so many opportunities. And what I have definitely done, or I am doing, let me not say I have done it, I am doing, is I am building a beautiful family. And that was one of my biggest goals in life.
And you've reached it.
I'm reaching it.
You're still reaching it. Okay, I get you. Yes.
As in, yes,
it's
my family's there, but it's a journey.
It's a journey, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a journey. So I love that, right? And for me, this speaks to also not boxing ourselves into timelines, right?
Yes.
And not expecting that everything is going to be very linear.
Yeah.
And because that is very idealistic way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
So you had goals.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I remember when I was also a naive 16-year-old, I was like, I'm going to get married at this age. And I'm going to have my kids at this age. I think I told myself I was going to get married at 24. What, 24? Me? No way.
You see.
If anybody married me at 24, they would have been depressed. Okay. I actually met my partner when I was 24, but definitely not ready for marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but when did marriage become a part of your plans?
So marriage was always part of my plans. But it was that thing that they say, I can't remember the word verbatim, the term verbatim, but you know, as little girls, you grow up dreaming of your wedding. You just need to find the husband. So I was that like very stereotypical little girl.
Really?
Yeah, I've always loved love, and I've always loved the idea of a wedding. I say that very specifically, the wedding part, because I didn't really think about the marriage part. But I was like, the wedding, and I'm going to wear this, and we're going to, you know, obviously it changed.
Really?
Yeah, it changed as the years went on. But then, yeah, when I met my now husband, I knew, like...
Oh, I'm going to get into that, girl. Don't tell me how you...
Yes,
don't tell me more. Don't tell me more. Okay? I want to go into that. Okay. But actually, I love that you touched on that, right?
Yeah.
So you can start us from there, and then you'll take us back, okay?
Okay.
Because now we've entered what I call love lane. Okay? So in the love lane,
Yes.
I really want you to take us down that path of falling in love with Mr. O'Reilly.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And also that moment you knew that this was going to be my forever guy.
Okay, so way back, 20 years ago to be exact. I was in boarding school in Grahamstown, and they've changed the name actually recently. But yes, in those days it was called Grahamstown, and I technically met him in 11th grade, but we never really. You know how you have those classmates, grade mates, let's say grade mates that you know about, but you don't really talk to, you don't hang out with or anything like that. We were both in boarding school.
So you're in a co-ed school?
We're in a co-ed boarding school, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The only one that was there.
Yeah, co-ed boarding.
Co-ed boarding, yeah. Okay. So yeah, and so I kind of heard his name here and there, yada yada. Didn't really think much of him, and I know now that he just thought I was just a super nerd. Because I was so good at, my academics. So he just knew, Aisha, don't mess with her. She's really serious about her studies. But then in matric, I was kind of like hanging out with one of his friends, and then he came along, and I can't
Aisha, wait, how are you hanging out with that friend?
Chatting.
In what way? Was it romantic or friendship?
No romantic.
Okay, so you were just friendship. Okay.
Yes.
I just want to know if Mr. O'Reilly threw a brick, okay? If you have caused some waters between that friendship.
Oh my goodness, no. He was even one of the groomsmen at our wedding.
Okay, that's good. Maybe you guys are on a healed path. Maybe it's a healed relationship, friendship.
No. It's all...
Okay, I'm joking.
All
okay.
good,
So there's a friendship. Okay, so you're chilling with one of his friends.
Yes.
Okay, so...
And he came like into the conversation, and so we were chatting. So we were walking together to like food hall, basically.
Okay.
And I just remember I was just like, I've never spoken to this guy, but he's kind of funny. I just thought he was quite funny. And he just kind of contradicted the sort of, the idea that I had of him,
All right.
And at that point, he was this tall, skinny white boy,
And you're very miniature.
I'm so small.
And compared to him, you're very miniature.
I'm very petite,
Yeah.
but he was always sort of, a lot of the girls kind of talked about Kevin O'Reilly, like he's one of us because he only had black friends.
Okay.
He didn't hang out with any of the white boys, in school, which was very different, especially back then. Like it was 50 years ago, but yeah.
No, but I get you. I get you.
what I mean? Yeah.
That contest still exists even now.
It does,
it does
right?
exist.
Yeah. So he was always around black people. All of his friends were black and all of that. And even like the way he spoke, sometimes like some people would just like tease him, but in a jokey, affectionate way. So when I spoke to him, I didn't really see that side of him, if that makes sense. Like I just saw a little bit more of a sort of like more chilled but funny kind of guy. And then we talked again, maybe a couple days later. And then we talked again a couple days later. And so it just became this thing that we were just chatting back and forth. And sometimes he'd walk with me back to my hostel. The girls' house was on the other side, obviously.
I mean, we hope. We hope. Okay.
So sometimes the boys would walk the girls,
Yeah.
And so, we just became friends. And I just thought, he's just so mature for our age. I mean, at that point, he was, 17 going on 18?
Yeah.
And I had just turned 18. And so a lot of the boys, when I'd have conversations with them, it was just stupid boy conversations.
Birds.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but with us, we had a different kind of, and I just really loved that aura about him. And so, so then I just developed this crush on him. And I hinted, nudge, that I have a bit of a crush on someone, very, very teeny of me to do. And we, it was at summer dance. I remember this. It was the beginning, like that first term of grade 12, that I whispered in his ear because he asked me to dance. And I whispered in his ear that guy.
I mean, this is giving movie fairy tale.
I know,
this is so
right?
sweet. Yeah.
He thinks it's corny as hell, but anyways.
Well, obviously, the boys always think what we find sweet is corny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it did feel like a movie. I'm not going to lie. When I tell it back sometimes, even to my kids who roll their eyes, I'm like, I said this to him. And just as I say it to him, the song ended. And so we had to almost separate because his original partner and date came to fetch him, and my original partner and date came to
so
fetch
you guys
me.
didn't even go together.
We didn't go together. We went with friends. So I went with a friend of mine who had a crush on someone else, but she had already said yes to go to summer dance with someone else. So he's like, "Do you want to go with me?" I'm like, "Sure."
Okay, yeah.
And on his side, it was a similar story.
Why didn't you guys go together?
Because at that point we were being silly. We didn't want to.
But you were friends.
But we didn't want to admit to each other that we liked each other. I don't know. It was a silly teen thing. But at the dance, we finally,
He said it back?
He didn't say it back.
The anxiety.
And can you imagine for the whole next song? Yeah, I'm dancing with my partner. He's dancing with his. And we are literally just locking eyes, me and him.
Was it a good locking eyes?
It was a good locking eyes.
I love
but
that.
I was also still a bit anxious. I'm like, oh my God, I just told him. And now he hasn't said anything.
And you don't want to lose a friendship.
And I didn't want it to be awkward. But then after that dance, because then I was like, okay, the ball's in his court. I'm going to leave it be. And he came and he got me. He's like, let's talk outside. I'm like, okay.
Aww, it's giving fairy tale.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's when we officially became a couple.
What? On that day?
On that day. Yeah.
Girl, the same day.
Same day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you were going to still build up. Okay.
No, because
So
we were
on that
already
day-
friends.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
You had built that beautiful foundation. And I
Yeah.
think that's really cool because it's always something, I guess, even in your marriage, you still go back to.
Yeah.
And you remind each other about.
Definitely.
Okay, so now you start dating, right?
Yeah.
How far into the relationship does the marriage topic come up? And when you start feeling comfortable with this idea?
Oh, another funny story.
You are so cute. I love it. I love this.
6 months in.
What?
Yes.
All right. Okay, talk.
We're 18 years old, mind you. Okay. And at that time, my dad got a really, really great job, which gave me the great opportunity that I could study university, varsity, anywhere that I wanted, right? So for me, it made sense. I'm like, okay, so the world's my oyster. I'm gonna go to university somewhere else. You know, all of my I come from a very educated family, and all of my older siblings went to the UK for university. So for me, I'm like, I'm going to the UK. So when I told my friends about it, they're just, you're crazy. You're in love with Kev. Like, you can't leave. I said, no, I have to. I have to get my education. You know.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So am I.
I'm very proud of you for that.
I said, like, look, yeah, I do love him,
Especially
but that's
at 18.
At 18.
Took a lot of maturity, yeah.
So when I spoke to him about it, there were no issues. Like, he wasn't trying to guilt trip me. He never tried to make me feel like, yeah, but if you love me, you know, you would. No,
He made
was
you
just,
feel safe
He
in
made
your
me feel
decision.
so safe. And he said, you do what you need to do. You go.
Love
you know, and it was one of those conversations that we had that we both said, so now what though? We're going to matriculate and then we're going to break up. It's like, well, let's just enjoy it until it lasts, you know? And so that's what we did. And so a couple of days later, he's walked me again to my house, and I'm on the steps. I kid you not, and I do believe this, okay? Call me crazy. I don't care. I believe my future self, like, basically you went back in time, inhabited my body, and told him, I'm going to marry you one day. I said that to him.
Yeah.
I looked him in his eyes as he hugged me, and then I said, I'm going to marry you one day. And can you imagine? He's like,
We're 18, man.
oh, okay. He just said, okay, babe. Like, and then he's like, why would you say that? I said, I actually don't know. I kid you not. I think older Aisha came into younger Aisha for like 30 seconds, and then she left. And that was my little prophecy. I told
And you
him.
had that certainty.
I had that certainty. I just knew. I'm like, this is my husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you go to the UK.
Yes.
I assume.
Yeah.
The relationship is long distance.
Yes, for 6 years.
So no breakups at any point.
We broke up, and I put that in quotes because it was like a week.
Okay.
You know,
you were frustrated.
No, it was because I left. Because we had agreed, okay, you're going to leave. Okay, we're not going to do long distance.
Oh.
So we had originally agreed that we weren't going to even try. It wasn't even a thing.
Okay.
So we said, you know, it was great knowing you. If we see each other again in the future, let's, you know.
Let's see.
Let's
Yeah.
see. But
Yeah.
you do you. You get your education. I'll do me. I'll get my education. And
So
that was it.
proud of you for doing that.
Yeah, so we separated, but I was miserable for like a whole week. I was crying every
Yeah,
day, and I
I
was just
would be
like,
too.
this is my love.
You're a lover girl. I love that. You're a lover girl.
I love love.
You're a lover girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so for 6 years,
Yes.
you are dating long distance.
Yeah.
Then you come back to South Africa.
Yes.
And is that when you guys decide that we're going to do this in terms of a marriage?
We decided we were going to aim for marriage while we were doing long distance, and that's what
Okay.
carried us through.
Okay.
So I would say maybe about 2 years into the long distance, 2-3 years, we were about 21 at that point. We said, this is it, right? And I told him, I'm like, yeah, but I already told you that you're my husband. You just needed to catch up. And he's like, okay, let's do this then. So then we were like, okay, we're going to get married. Obviously not now. Let's finish our degree. And then
But let's plan towards it.
let's plan towards it.
Okay, I love that. So I want to ask you about the proposal.
Oh, yes.
You see, you're a lover girl. Guys, can you see why she was perfect for this? I love people who really enjoy love. And especially 20 years down the line, for you to still be so giddy when you look back at it. Do you know what this reminds me of, right? It's going to be a little bit sad, but I have to say this. When Connie Ferguson spoke about Shauna Ferguson at his memorial, right? She speaks of the very first time she met him. And I still remember that story because of how detailed she was in telling us that story. And you could kind of see her being transported back to that time. And I really think that when you meet that person, these kinds of moments are moments that it just doesn't escape you. So even looking at you describing that first time that you met him and you saw that he was like a scrawny guy and your summer dance, because literally when I, like, especially now that I'm moving towards the aisle, I'm reflecting a lot. And I will never forget seeing my person's face the very first day I met him
Yeah.
and how he looked at me, his glimmer. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like it was so romantic, but it was like, this is it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like, this is it, but we didn't know anything. We just really didn't know each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're a lover girl, and I love that. Okay, cool. Tell me about your proposal.
Oh gosh, I can tell stories here. Long story short, he told me to pack my bags. He was taking me away somewhere. I had no idea where. But I'm like, I can't just pack my bags. You have to give me ideas. A girl can't just, like, what do I pack? Do I pack a dress? Do I pack t-shirt? Do I pack, coat, whatever? So he gave me some guidelines, but that's all he gave me. So I'm freaking out because, I call my best friend and I call my sister and I tell them, I just want to let you know I'm going somewhere with Kev and I don't know where the hell he's taking me.
Yeah.
So my best friend's like, oh, what's happening? Where are you guys going? I said, I don't know. And I thought, I said to her, oh my God, do you think this is it? Do you think this is it? Is he proposing to me? Oh my God, I hope he brings like the perfect ring.
Had you sent him a ring before?
I hadn't sent him, but I sent her.
Okay, and you knew they were colluding.
I was like, just in case.
Yes.
Just in case he asks.
Yes.
This is the ring that I want.
Yes.
So anyways, we end up flying to Mozambique. I only find out when we're at the check-in desk. We get to Mozambique. He had rented out this really beautiful villa, almost like on a bit of a cliff.
Girl.
I know.
Yeah.
On a bit of a cliff, sort of overseeing, the ocean and things like that. Not great weather, unfortunately, but it was fine. We stayed in, we had dinner, and so the whole time I'm thinking, is this it? Is this it? Okay, so I'm trying to prepare myself. Like, okay. Dinner time, I'm thinking maybe he's gonna bring something, that like cordy romantic.
Or maybe I'm gonna choke on my ring. I hate that. Stop doing that. Okay, we hate that. Unnecessary way to end your proposal in the ED.
Right?
But anyway, yes.
But I'm trying to just look out for things, clues, hints, and then it doesn't happen. So that's day one, and we go to bed, and I'm like, okay. So then the next morning, we're chatting, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, mind you, I am in bed. I have my duck on. No make, like nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, let's plan our day. I'm going to go, I don't know what he wanted to do. Then he goes, let me go just check what time we're leaving tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
And so he gets up, goes to his bag, and then he brings out the ring.
Boys are so weird, but I can imagine it was actually very special. It was unexpected.
It was completely unexpected because I'm thinking he's going to propose to me when we arrive, and it doesn't happen. He's going to propose at dinner. It doesn't happen. He's going to propose when we go back to the room. It doesn't happen. So now there I am with my sleepies in my eyes and my door. And then he comes and then he starts, doing the kneel.
The speech.
And I'm like, wait. And I just throw off my duck like, you cannot propose to me like this. So, babe, it's fine. You're beautiful. Aww. It's okay. I'm like, no, let me at least brush my teeth.
I love that. I love that. He's a lover boy as well.
Oh, he is, but don't tell him that.
Okay, I won't. But that was very sweet. So then you proposed.
Then he proposed, and I couldn't stop crying.
And you had a beautiful trip because now you're a fiancé.
I was a fiancé. I kept looking at my ring like...
Is that the ring?
This is the ring.
It's a very beautiful ring.
This is the ring.
It's a very beautiful ring. We'll find a way to show it to you guys. Okay, cool. So from there on, right? Now you need to start planning.
Yes.
Did you get into planning mode immediately?
Yes. Straight away.
So how did you find the planning and how far along was it?
Honestly, it was the most stressful year of my life.
Okay, so you did it within a year.
I did it within a year.
All right.
Yeah. So we got engaged in November 2013. Mm-hmm. We got married December 2014.
Okay, yes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because by then also, just keep in mind, we'd been together for 9 years.
Oh, so you didn't want to...
So I didn't want to wait.
any longer.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait any longer. I was also diagnosed with PCOS.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get started on, a family soon, and it wasn't official until we were engaged with my parents, like for my parents to really acknowledge who he was in my life. The whole boyfriend culture thing.
No.
It's
they
a
don't
no.
have time for that.
No. Is this the man you're marrying? That's what they
Yes.
wanted to know.
Okay.
So yeah, so we didn't want to
Wait for too
we
long.
didn't have to wait for too long. We
No,
knew.
you didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you didn't have your children at then.
I didn't have any?
Children by then.
No.
So I guess it actually made it a little bit more fun because
The planning?
yeah, because the two of you. So okay, the reason why I say this
Yeah.
is because we've had to delay so much because
Yeah.
of our child.
Ah,
Yeah, not that she's
makes
an
sense.
issue. Yeah, but because we had to do so much to make her comfortable
Yes.
and to aid her growth that it was quite
Yeah.
expensive, that we
Yeah.
couldn't think outside of that. And she just takes so much of our day
No, yeah,
that
for
planning was
sure.
just the last thing on our minds.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So I'm assuming you had both the traditional and the white.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I just want you to share a little bit about the traditional because you are not South African,
Yes.
correct? You're
Yeah.
Tanzanian.
Tanzanian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what went into your wedding in terms
Okay.
of the traditional? I really want to hear about that.
Okay, so it's traditional, but it's not traditional, if that makes any sense. So there were a lot of traditional events that were supposed to happen. And I say supposed to because unfortunately, about 3 weeks before we got married, my grandmother passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was going to have a send-off party, which is when your parents, send you off. So it's usually, especially if you come from an affluent family, you have a very big do, and your parents invite like everybody that they know, and that's their official sending off to the other family. So I was gonna have that. I was gonna have a kitchen party. The kitchen party is just for the women.
Yes. Yeah.
So the women of your family, your grannies, your aunties, your
Yeah.
friends, they bring you literally things to prepare your kitchen for
Yes.
you, And
Okay, so it's very similar to South Africans.
yeah, so that was all being planned and all of that. And then obviously before then, we had what South African families called Lebola. We call it Mahari. So that was
So
the-
Mahadi.
yeah,
We call
very
it Mahadi
close.
in South
We say
Africa.
Mahari.
Yeah, so we
Yes.
call it Mahadi in Sepedi
Okay.
and Setswana and Sesotho.
Got it. So yes, we had Mahari. For us, we say Mahari.
Love it. Okay.
So we had that a few months before the wedding, right?
Yeah.
So we had to do all of that in Tanzania. So we had to make 2 trips to Tanzania.
What?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so you guys didn't want to even like amend it and make it like a South African version of it.
No.
I love that. I actually really love that.
Because my family is in Tanzania.
Yeah, I know. I saw
Yeah.
you actually, took a trip to
Yeah.
actually go see your family,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
really loved that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
funny enough, the day that I decided I'm going to have this conversation with Aisha was the day I found my wedding dress.
Yeah.
And I just come from purchasing my wedding dress. It wasn't actually even planned. I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to get my wedding dress that day.
Yeah.
And we met at the Ghana God event.
Yes.
And I told her, and I'm like, dude, I was so excited. I just didn't know who to tell. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I found my wedding dress. But that's very interesting. And I also chose off-white.
Yeah.
So I want you to give me one highlight and one low light besides the dress.
Okay.
Okay, of the actual day.
Yes. Highlight. Okay, can I start with low light first?
Yes.
Okay.
And then take us
and then
to
take
the
it
top.
up. Yes.
Yes.
Low light was, and this is a story a lot of people know. At that point, I was one of the biggest natural hair bloggers in South Africa. And so my hair was a massive deal. My hair on my
Yes.
wedding day was a huge deal.
Okay.
I was going to broadcast it, show it off, everything. And I had this agreement with a salon
Yes,
that they were
don't
going
say
to
it.
do my hair, right? And they showed up about 3 hours late. It really affected everything. It was like a
sorry.
domino effect.
Yes.
Because now, but the hair was late, I was starting to do my own hair, which I didn't want to do on my wedding day. Like, yes, I can do my own hair, but I didn't want to do it on my wedding day. So that it was a domino effect on all the other things. The ceremony
you're
had
so
to start
anxious
late.
now.
And I was so anxious. I was so angry. I was so angry. So that was the low point, And then the high point was our first dance.
Oh,
Our first dance
was it like almost like the summer dance?
Oh, yes. But more emotional because let me tell you, since I told him you're gonna be my husband one day, we have our song, Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You. That's our song.
Oh, okay.
So for years, that's what's been in my head every time I think of our wedding. I didn't know any other details about our wedding, like specifically, except that song.
Oh my
So
word, you and I are
when-
so similar.
Yeah? Do you
Yeah,
also
I have a song.
What's your song?
So immediately when we decided we were gonna get married, we actually gonna do the wedding.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was write down the song that I'm gonna walk down the aisle to.
Yeah.
And that's the matrimony. We love that song so much, Wale and Aisha. If there's a
Oh,
question, I'm like,
yes,
love that. I just want the
yes.
doors to open. Okay, no, wait, I don't want my guests to know this. Doesn't matter. Well, now they know. It's because it's this one of the songs that we really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
We played it even when we were going for our maternity shoot. But anyway, go back.
Oh.
Fine. So you do your first dance.
Yes, up until that point, I hadn't cried. He had already cried. He cried during our vows. I
Did you-
kept it together.
Did you cry when you walked down the aisle?
He didn't cry when I walked down the aisle.
I'm so mad.
No, I'm okay with that. I wasn't expecting it. Can I
Okay.
just tell you, by the way, but until that point, I'd seen my husband cry once
Oh,
in 9
okay.
years. He's just not that guy. So I
Yeah.
wasn't even expecting him to cry. And then when he started like almost sobbing as I was saying my vows, I was, Kev.
Yeah, but you're very eloquent in how you speak. You
Oh, well,
are
thank
literally
you.
a good communicator. So I can imagine that you killed those vows, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I was not expecting that. I thought I was gonna cry first because I'm a crier.
You
I'm
are.
a crier, you know.
Yeah.
But up until then, no tears from me. But the wedding dance, that song, and it was just us, and it was dark because it was already nighttime, and we just had fairy lights. We told our the venue we just want fairy lights around. That's it. We don't want anything else. No grand whatever. Just fairy lights. And
So
so,
it
we
felt
were
like
just
just the
there.
two
It
of
was just
you.
the two of us, and I just let go of everything, and I just cried. I was like, "This is finally it. This is the moment I've been waiting
For so many
for
years.
so many years." Yeah.
The summer dance. Okay. So this is actually the last question, right?
Yeah.
Before we wrap up.
Yeah.
If you were to get married in 2025, which is next year, right? So it's my year.
Yes.
What would you do differently?
Okay. I would exactly what I was speaking to you about when we met. I would hire a videographer.
Yes.
I would hire a videographer. We had a great photographer, and she was amazing, and she captured so many moments. But I was talked out of videoing our wedding by my husband because he said he didn't want any cables around. He didn't want people interrupting the view, basically. So, in an effort to compromise, I said, "Fine, babe, we don't have to have a videographer." Until this day, I regret that. And so, if I were to get married again, if I were to do it over, I would hire a videographer, no matter how expensive it's going to be. Because the reason why, when you get married, when it's your day, it goes by so fast. So fast. You don't even realize how fast it's going to go by. When you're planning and you're
Yeah.
busy doing this, it goes like this. So there's so many moments, especially as the bride, that you don't get to see as part of your wedding day.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you don't
still
see
your
your
day.
man. You don't see your man walk down the aisle. You don't see your
bridesmaids.
Your bridesmaids. You don't see the flower girl. Yeah,
all of that.
Yeah, I
all of
agree
those
with you.
moments, some of the speeches, I don't even remember what my parents said, because it was years ago. But if we at least had that on tape, I could revisit it. So that's what I would do differently, hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, I was really moved by the photographer that I met with today. She was honest with me to say that her videography capabilities are not at the level that I would want.
Yeah.
And she would highly suggest I get one.
Yeah.
But she does have couples that don't care about that. And I was like, I thought that was so bizarre.
That they
I
don't
thought
care?
That, yeah. And I mean, when you said it to me, remember, I mean, my jaw was basically on the ground. I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
I thought everybody does videography, but only to find that no, it's really not a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I was also really happy to hear my mother-in-law say, go as expensive as you can go. Because
Yes.
that is actually the wedding. Yes, the day is quite expensive. So actually 10% of our wedding is going to go to the photography.
Yeah.
We've
Yes.
said that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're actually done, guys. Aisha's so sweet. She's
wow.
so cute. I know it went by too fast, right? But you really gave us great nuggets. And there will be some things that I'll be taking to my journey on the aisle.
Yes.
But I just want to have you just share one last piece of advice with a bride to be.
Yeah.
And yeah.
One last piece of advice. Okay. It might be a little bit cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway because I really agree with it. Have your day. Like, enjoy it, take it in, but also remember that it's now the start of a marriage. I think a lot of us as women, and it's not our fault, okay? A lot of us have been conditioned ever since we were girls to think of this this big dress or dresses if we have multiple weddings and things like that. And that's beautiful. But at the end of the day, after all of that is taken, all the dresses are taken off, the decor is taken down, the people go home, you are left with this man who is going to be your life partner. And sometimes there's a bit of an anticlimax that happens.
Yeah.
After you finish getting married. But remember that there's a marriage now that starts. So one chapter closes, one chapter ends, but a new one starts. And just keep that in mind. And be excited about it. It really is exciting. I love marriage more than I loved my wedding day.
I love that because I've never heard anybody actually say that the marriage was actually the highlight and the high point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people leave their marriage on their wedding day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So before they even enter it. Okay, Aisha, I really found this conversation to be fun. I found it to be quite enlightening. And I'm really grateful to you for accepting the invitation to come onto the coziest corner on the internet. Okay, it's a very cozy corner. And I really do trust that as, this podcast grows, that we'll actually see you coming back. I really love our synergy. I love the conversations I have with you. And I really feel that my wonderful friends who join me on this corner every Wednesday will take something away from this conversation that will really be assisting their journey as well.
I hope so.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Chomi, we're now at the end of the episode, and I can't wait to see you again next week, Wednesday. Okay, bye.